Okay, there we go. Find the Bonshoff power distribution of the weighted voting system. Why this one's terrible is it's just got 5 players. 5 players is just big. It's just, I'm not going to give you 5 players on the exam. That'd take you too long. The most I'll give you is 4. But there is one here with 5. It's, if you can do this, you can do anything I would give you with 4. So, okay. So I'll do the whole thing. Oh, well, I'm not going to do the whole thing. I'm going to get you started. So 20, and then 14, 5, 4, 2, 1. Like that, okay? And then, so they want me to find the Bonshoff power. What's the first thing you do when you find Bonshoff power?
Winning coalitions.
Yeah, winning coalitions, winning teams, right? So first, the winning team. So let's start with now, but this time we have 5 players. So 5-player winning team. So that would just be everybody. 14, 5, 4, 2, 1. And then we got to do all the 4-player winning teams. Remember how to list all of them when you go down one level, down to 4-player? You just cover them up one at a time, right? You good with that? To have a system and therefore not miss anything? So let me do that. So I'll cover up the 1. So 14, 5, 4, 2. And then I'll put the 1 back. And I'll cover up the 2. And I'll go 14, 5, 4, 1. And I'll put the 2 back. And I'll cover up the 4. 14, 5, 2, 1. And I'll put the 4 back. I'll cover up the 5, and I'll go 14, 4, 2, 1. And I will put the 5 back. And I'll cover up 14. And that is 5, 4, 2, 1. So there's all the 4-player teams. Now, I didn't even check if all those are winners. What do they got to have to be a winner? They got to have 14. Right? Do they all have 14? I don't think this does. That doesn't have 14. 9, 10, 12. No. The rest do. All the rest have 20. They got 20, not 14. They got 20. Yeah, all the rest have 20. This one doesn't even come close to 20. So he's out. So there's all the 4-player winners, right, that all have 20? Yeah, they all have 20. 20 or more. Okay, so there's all the 4-player winners. Now we got to do all the 3-player winners. This is hard. This is where it gets really tedious. How do you list all the 3-player winners? Well, I don't know. Maybe I'm being dramatic. Maybe it's not that bad. I don't know. Let's see. 3-player winners. Okay. Well, 14. You got to be 20 total, right? 14, 5, and 4. I'm just going to kind of do the best I can. I'm not going to really do a system. I'm just going to sort of guess. 14, 5, 4. 14, 5, 2, 14, 5, 1. All those make 20, don't they? Is that good so far? All those make 20. So I just that's all the ones starting with 4. So I'm going to kind of have a system. That's all the ones starting with 14, 5, right? If you start with 14, 5, right? If you start with 14, 5, you can finish with 4, 2, or 1. So that's all the 14, 5 teams. Now, and they all make 20 or more. So now let me do the 14, 4 teams. So if you start with 14, 4, and I don't need to go back. I don't need to go back to 5 because I've already done all the 14, 5s. Huh? So 14, 4, 2. Would that be 20? Yeah, that's 20. 14, 4, 1. No, not 20, huh? That's only 19. So I'll skip that one. And I think that's it probably, isn't it? Because that's all the 14, 5s. That's the only 14, 4. Can you start with 14, 2? And remember, you can't go back. Well, we've already done the back. We've already done the ones that have 14, 5 or 14, 4. So 14, 2, 1, no, that's not going to work. 14, 2, 1, no, that doesn't work. And that's it. You got to have the 14 in there, right? If you're going to have 3 players and hit 20. So that's it. That wasn't too bad, I guess. I was being dramatic. That's not too bad. I was just drawing these lines to separate the different types. You don't need them. Anyway, there we go. There's all the 3-player winners. Are there any 2-player winners? Are there any 2 players that make 20? No. The 2 biggest, 14 and 5, don't even make 20, do they? So no way. Okay. I thought it was going to be really, really terrible. It is a little terrible, though. Now you got to go back. Let me just erase this. Now you got to go back and you got to do the critical reasoning thing, right? You got to say, okay, which ones are critical? So remember how that works. Remember with the critical. This is the part that I notice confuses people a lot. Are you doing okay on the critical reasoning thinking? What does it mean to be critical? What's the critical question? What does it mean to be critical? It means if you drop out, the team loses, right? That's what it means to be critical. If you don't show up, they lose. If you don't show up, they lose. Okay, so let's start. Now, the smaller teams usually have most people critical, don't they? And then the bigger teams have less, which makes sense. Bigger team, they don't need you so much. Smaller team, they really, really need you. So let's start right here. So how about on this team, 14, 4, and 2? They barely make 20, huh? The number we need. They barely make 20. So everybody's critical, huh? Anybody drops out, they lose. Next team, also, this team barely makes 20. That means anybody drops out, they lose. The next one up, even the 2, if he drops out, they only have 19. So everybody's critical on that team. How about up here? The 4 drops out. Yeah, they only got 19. Everybody's critical on that team. Yeah, usually on the smallest teams, everybody's critical because they're barely making it, and you need them all. All right, but now it gets tricky with the 4-player. Let's try this. If the 1 drops out here, do they lose? No. Y'all with me? So I'm on the 4-player team here at the bottom. So if the 1 drops out, they're still okay. They still have 20. So 1's not critical, huh? Is that good? So 1's not critical. How about if the 2 drops out? Do they still have 20? No, they only have, 19? So he's critical, and as soon as you know somebody's critical, anybody bigger's got to be critical. Does that make sense? Save a little time with that logical step, right? Once anybody's critical, then anybody even higher than him's got to be critical too. All right, let's try the next one. If the 1 drops out, the other ones have 21, don't they? So 1's not critical. They can still win without him. If 2 drops out, they still have 20. 19 and 1 is 20. 2's not critical either on this team. 2 was critical on this team, but not on this one. 5 drops out, they've only got 17. He's critical, and if he's critical, anybody above him's got to be critical also. Is that okay? Am I doing that too? Should I slow that down? I know that's the key trick. Should we go up the line? So if the 1 drops out, what do they have? They got plenty. 1's not critical. If the 4 drops out, they're still okay. They still got 20 barely, huh? If the 4 drops out there. If the 5 drops out, they've only got 19. So 5's critical, and everybody above him's critical. Come on up here to the 4-player. If the 2 drops out, they have plenty. If the 4 drops out, they got 21. They're okay. If the 5 drops out, they got 20. They're okay. Even the 5's not critical here. The 14 is certainly critical. If he drops out, they don't have 20. Finally, the 5-player. If the 1 drops out, let's start with the 14. If the 14 drops out, yeah, he's critical. They're not going to have 20 without him. They only have 9, 10, 11, 12 without him. He's critical. Is the 5 critical? I'm starting from the top here. The 5 critical? Do they have 20? They have 20 without him. 5's not critical. Nobody else is critical on that team. There we go. We did it. So how many? So then what do? You circle. So you're going to go, I need some place to write it over here. Taking a little longer than I wanted on this. Player 1, player 2, player 3, player 4, and player 5. And then you count the total times people were critical, because that's when you exercise real power, right? Anytime you're critical, you're exercising real power. You're making a real difference. So how many times that happened? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm just circling I'm counting all the circle times. 3 times 4 is 12. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. It's kind of funny. 21. So all the denominators are 21 because there's 21 times people were critical. People exercised real power, right? How many times was it player 1, the 14? A lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He was 9 out of 21. Player 2, which is the 5, right? Player 2 is the 5, is how many times? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 out of 21. You can double check when we're done. These better add up to 21 out of 21, huh? Let's keep going. The next player, player 3, is 4. It's 1, 2, 3. It's easy to miss one. 3. Player 4, that's the 2. How many 2s are circled? 1, 2, 3. 3. It's actually the same as the other guy. And the final guy, the 1, was the 1 ever circled? Yeah, once. Is that up? I hope that adds up to 21. If you add all that up, 9 plus 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 1 was at 10. Yeah, 21. Good. So if you add this up, it should be 1. 21 out of 21, 100%. Right? Just double check to make sure you didn't miss any. Add these up. I would definitely do that on my test. Kind of thing I did, just to double check everything to make sure I'm not making a small mistake. So if you add these up, they add up to 21 21s. So, and you need to reduce this fraction, divide top and bottom by 3 here. This would be what, 3/7? The rest, oh no, this can, and this is 1/7. 1/7. This just stays 1 over 21. This stays 5 over 21. There we go. There's the Bonshoff power for them. Questions on that? That makes sense? Then they have a part B where you got to up the Q to 21, like that. All right, have we seen enough? Why don't we stop there, give you the practice exam, take it for maybe 45 minutes, and